At a reunion dinner with old classmates. Olivia smiled as she placed a mushroom into my bowl. Noah, the mushrooms you ordered. She didn't finish her sentence. I didn't order mushrooms. And my name isn't Noah. Noah was her ex-boyfriend's name. Chapter 01. During the class reunion dinner, Olivia dropped a mushroom into my bowl again, smiling. Noah, the mushrooms you ordered. They're a little burnt, just right. She didn't finish. Her hand froze midair. I kept my head down, slowly chewing the food in my mouth, saying nothing. I didn't look up. I didn't order mushrooms. And I'm not Noah. Noah is her ex-boyfriend. The men sitting on my left, Noah, froze and looked up at her. I could feel their eyes meet. Some kind of emotion flashing between them, something I couldn't quite understand. Olivia was the first to look away. In a setting where both her ex and current boyfriend were present, she'd just called her current boyfriend by her ex's name. The room, previously buzzing with laughter and conversation, suddenly felt like someone had hit the pause button. I clenched my chopsticks too tightly. My fingernails dug into my palm, but the pain felt oddly numb, like my body couldn't register it. After an unbearable silence, Simon spoke up to break the tension. Hey, why isn't anyone drinking? Come on, bottoms up, no slacking. Everyone let out a breath of relief and joined in. Who's slacking? This is my third already. Yours is still full. You got no right to talk. Olivia moved the mushroom into her own bowl and didn't look at Noah again. She ladled me a bowl of soup, acting casual. Drink something warm. You didn't dress enough for today's weather. I took the bowl but said nothing. As we left the restaurant, Olivia tugged my sleeve. I'm gonna use the restroom. Wait for me outside. Without waiting for a response, she hurried down the hallway. I looked at her back, hesitated, and decided to follow. Sure enough, at the end of the hallway, Noah was there. Tall, sharp-featured, in a long black coat. Olivia's expression was tense. She said something I couldn't hear. Noah seemed agitated, and then, he pulled her into a tight hug. From my corner at the far end, I saw Olivia's hand freeze behind his back. Her fingers opened, closed, hesitated, but in the end, she didn't hug him back. Moments later, she pushed him away and whispered a few words. Then she turned and started walking off. Noah called after her, his voice loud this time. I barely made out the words. But you don't even love him. You just called him by my name. Olivia, you haven't moved on, have you? Her steps faltered. She didn't respond. She just walked away in silence. That night, back home, neither of us brought up what happened at dinner. I didn't dare ask if what Noah said was true. Maybe because deep down, I already knew the answer. I just didn't want to hear it out loud. Like always, she leaned in and pressed a kiss to the corner of my lips, then curled into my arms. Let's sleep. But I knew neither of us would sleep. Because of that one name, spoken by mistake. She was always so composed, so meticulous, the kind of person who never slips. To mess up a name like that, it could only mean she had turned that name over in her heart countless times, so often that it slipped out without thought. I could feel her heartbeat at my back, fast and unrelenting, and I stared into the darkness until my eyes ached. It's strange. We're lying so close together, but it feels like an entire ocean stretches between us. Chapter 02. The next morning at work, I overheard two girls gossiping in the break room. A guy came by this morning looking for President Lin. He was pretty good looking and asked for Olivia Lin by name. Don't you think? She lowered her voice, the tone dripping with gossip. Don't you think something's going on between him and our President Lin? The other girl whispered back. What's his name? What did he look like? The receptionist thought for a second. I think his name was Noah. He was handsome, kinda looked like some celebrity, but he had this arrogant vibe. I didn't like him. She pouted. I still prefer Jordan. Noah. The other girl gasped under her breath. Isn't that the name of President Lin's ex? I remember once, when I was bringing her water, I overheard someone mentioning that Noah was coming back. What do you make of that? The receptionist got excited. And what did President Lin say? If she gets back with Noah, what about Jordan? No idea. I didn't dare keep listening. I ran off right away. I stood leaning against the cold wall of the break room, the coffee in my hand already gone cold. I only stepped out after they'd finished their gossip and left, looking satisfied. But once I sat down at my desk, I couldn't focus at all. Every word on the page blurred, distorted, until all I could see was the word Noah. My hand holding the pen started to shake uncontrollably. I knew it then. I was scared. Noah was back. And I was terrified he'd do what he did 7 years ago, take Olivia away from me all over again. Like it was nothing. Olivia and I had grown up together, true childhood sweethearts. From the same kindergarten to the same elementary school, the same middle school, the same university. I spent half my childhood at her house. Her mom adored me and loved to tease. Jordan, are you going to be Auntie's son-in-law someday? No matter how many times she joked like that, I'd always blush and lower my head, too embarrassed to answer. The adults would laugh. Olivia, would you be willing to marry Jordan? Olivia would beam. Yes, Jordan's my favorite. Back then, I really believed I was her favorite, that we'd always be together. Then came the year we turned 19. Noah appeared. He was our classmate in college, just as outstanding as Olivia. They were the golden pair on campus. Student council president and vice president. Captain of the debate team and best debater. Both national scholarship winners. Two brilliant stars pulled toward each other. Olivia still spent time with me, but more and more. Every conversation started to revolve around Noah. Jordan, how is Noah so good at debating? He almost had me tripped up last time. Jordan, if a guy tells you a restaurant's really good, does that mean he wants to go with you? Jordan, what kind of gifts do guys like on their birthdays? Help me pick something out. She was saying my name, but talking about another man. In all the years I'd known Olivia, that was the first time I ever heard her talk about giving a gift to another guy. I forced a smile. Who are you giving it to? I still remember her expression, that faint blush on her porcelain face. Her eyes lowered as she murmured softly, who else would it be? Noah. Of course. You might be getting a brother-in-law soon. Aren't you happy? She looked up at me with bright eyes, reflecting my face, completely drained of color. After a moment, I replied softly, happy. Chapter 03. And just like that, Olivia and Noah got together. They were both born to shine, natural head-turners. When they stood side by side, they looked like the perfect match. Everyone who saw them said the same thing. They were made for each other. The spotlight followed them wherever they went. They were together for 3 years. And those 3 years were the most distant Olivia and I had ever been, practically strangers. Part of it was me trying to avoid getting in the way, but mostly, it was because Noah was incredibly possessive. Anytime he saw Olivia talking to me, it turned into a huge fight. Olivia didn't want to upset him. She even deleted my contact info. After years of being inseparable, we finally went our separate ways. I remember going home alone that year for Chinese New Year. Olivia had gone overseas with Noah on vacation. The moment I walked through the door, her mom rushed over, anxious. You came home by yourself. Why isn't Olivia with you? I don't know why, but in that moment, I felt something heavy and sour flood my chest. I lowered my head to hide it and said, Auntie, she went abroad with her boyfriend. Olivia's mom froze, then patted my shoulder with a complicated look and sighed. They were together for 3 years. Noah and Olivia were very alike, both brilliant, both strong-willed. When they got along, their chemistry was electric, but when two proud people fall in love, conflict is almost inevitable. Noah had a serious need to control her. Olivia couldn't stand it. They fought all the time. Whenever they did, she'd come find me. What the hell is he thinking? He's so damn annoying, worse than my mom. I never said much. Whatever I said would be wrong anyway. Not that she expected an answer. She'd rant, drink, and then go right back to Noah again. The final straw came when Noah decided he wanted to study abroad and asked Olivia to go with him. But at that point, Olivia had already started a company with some classmates. It was the early days of the internet boom. China had the best market opportunities. She was determined to make her mark at home. She refused Noah's offer and even tried to convince him to stay and build something with her. Noah wasn't having it. The fights got worse, never-ending arguments. Until one day, Noah finally snapped. Can you stop going against me for once, Olivia? Are you coming with me or not? Then came the ultimatum. If you're not coming, then let's just break up. No point wasting each other's time. Olivia lost her temper too. She bit back. Fine, let's break up. If we don't, I'm the damn fool. Noah froze. After a moment, he gave her one last look. Fine, he said. You've got guts, Olivia. And with that, he turned and left. Olivia, too proud to chase after him, let him go. But she didn't expect Noah to be so ruthless. He caught a flight the very next day and flew across the ocean. That was it. They were really over. Olivia was down for a while. She'd come to me for drinks, hang out with old classmates, getting drunk night after night. She was a wreck. Eventually, Simon had enough. He grabbed her by the collar and yelled, "Can you pull yourself together for once? If you still care about him, then go after him. If not, get your act together. The company needs you right now. Don't be so damn irresponsible." Olivia said nothing. She sat alone in the room all night. The next day, she was back to normal, going to work like nothing happened. She and I reconnected. She even brought me on board as a business partner in her company. On Olivia's birthday, 3 years after Noah had left, I drank too much, buzzed and hazy. I looked at her under the soft lights, so beautiful she didn't seem real. All the feelings I had buried for years surged up, and I couldn't hold back anymore. I leaned in and kissed her. She didn't say anything, just stared at me, her eyes shimmering with a mix of emotion and broken reflections from the lights above. After a moment, she closed her eyes and wrapped her arms around my neck, deepening the kiss. The next morning, I woke up, unsure what to say, cigarette in hand. But before I could speak, she slid her arms around me from behind and mumbled, "Jordan, let's be together." I froze. "Do you love me?" I asked. She didn't answer. She just held me tighter. Chapter 04. The memories slowly began to fade as I watched the sky outside turn gray. The daylight slipped away, blending into night. The streetlights on both sides of the road flickered on, and the traffic on the central street connected in a line of bright lights. A sudden sense of panic gripped my heart. I knew Noah's last rejection hadn't stopped him. That's why he was back at the company now. It was so typical of him, probably because life had always gone smoothly for him. He was used to getting whatever he wanted. But what about Olivia? My heart tightened, and a dull ache spread with a sense of confusion. I wasn't afraid of Noah, but I was afraid of Olivia. I was afraid that, just like he said, she had never really let go of him. This fear lingered until after work, when Olivia came to find me and suggested we leave together. Once in the car, I debated whether I should ask if Noah had reached out to her today. But before I could make up my mind, Olivia spoke first. Today, Noah came to see me. She kept her eyes on the road. I didn't see him. She continued. At the last reunion, I didn't know he'd be there. If I had known, I wouldn't have gone. Don't be mad. A sigh of relief finally escaped me. Olivia held my hand, reassuring me. There's nothing between us anymore. It's been so long, and I've moved on. Don't overthink it. I smiled lightly and held her hand back. That's good. Maybe I was just overreacting. After all, so many years had passed. Any strong feelings must have faded by now. Olivia loved me, I thought. But that night, before we went to bed, Olivia did something she had never done before. She didn't hold me. She turned her back to me, absorbed in her phone, scrolling for hours. Late at night, half asleep, I reached for a phone to check the time. The two phones were close to each other. I picked up the wrong one but didn't think much of it. Both of our phone passwords were set to Olivia's birthday. I unlocked it absent-mindedly. The pale light illuminated my face, draining all color from it. On the screen were photos of Olivia and Noah, pictures from when they went to Phuket during university. In the photo, Noah was wearing nothing but swim trunks, his arm around Olivia's waist, grinning brightly. Olivia held a water gun and squinted at the camera with a smile. I scrolled back and forth, more photos of them together. I had always thought Olivia had deleted these pictures. Turns out, she had just saved them to the cloud. Looking at her peaceful face as she slept beside me, a hollow emptiness filled my chest, as though a great hole had opened up. The cold night wind made me shiver, deep down to my bones. In that moment, I couldn't lie to myself anymore. She had called out Noah's name to me. She had been looking at photos of them. Noah was right. She had never let go of him. Chapter 05. I knew Noah wouldn't give up that easily, but I didn't expect him to show up at our house to confront Olivia. At the time, a few of us, old friends who had started the company together, were gathered at home, having dinner and discussing market trends. The doorbell rang suddenly. Olivia went to answer it, and there stood Noah, wearing sunglasses. Everyone froze, instinctively looking at me. I didn't say a word. My fingers holding the cigarette tensed up subconsciously. Olivia was startled. Why are you here? Noah ignored everyone else, eyes fixed on Olivia as he demanded, why haven't you been answering my calls? Olivia frowned hard. We're over. Why would I take your calls? I have a boyfriend now. Can you have some self-respect? Stop harassing me. Noah raised an eyebrow. Olivia, you can fool others. You can even fool yourself. But me? If you're really over me, why did you call him by my name? He stepped closer, pointing to her chest, voice lowered and intense. Ask yourself, deep down, have you really stopped feeling anything for me? No one expected things to unfold like this. The room was filled with stunned silence and awkward tension. I stood up, expressionless. Noah, Olivia is with me now. It's not exactly decent of you to come barging in like this. Noah took off his sunglasses, as if only just noticing me, giving me a quick glance and a mocking smile. Jordan, right. I remember seeing you a lot back when I was dating Olivia. How pitiful. His words pierced me like a knife. So after all these years, you finally get to pick up the leftovers. Do you know what Olivia used to say about you when we were together? He stepped toward me. That's enough. Olivia snapped suddenly, but Noah ignored her, his smile laced with malice. She said you were like a shadow, always following her around. Impossible to shake. She said you were annoying. I stood there, everything around me seeming to fall away. There was no pain, only numbness, like being stabbed so deeply that your body hasn't even caught up to the injury yet. Olivia grabbed Noah's wrist in anger. What the hell do you want? You really don't know. Noah turned back, his tone suddenly soft. Olivia, I regret everything. He reached out, brushing her cheek with his fingers, full of longing. All these years, I haven't been able to let you go. Can we start over? Olivia's face twisted with restrained fury. Her voice trembled with pain. I waited for you like a damn dog for 3 years. Not once did you come back. And now you say you never stopped loving me. Noah, give me a break. Noah closed his eyes. I didn't dare come back. Olivia, I knew that if I saw you again, I wouldn't be able to leave. He had always been dominant, rarely showing vulnerability. The anger on Olivia's face faded, her eyes filled with conflicting emotions. After a long silence, she spoke quietly. And what does any of this matter now? I have a new life. A trace of red rimmed Noah's eyes. He leaned in, and in front of everyone, Olivia didn't pull away. The kiss was light, just a brush of lips, yet it hit like thunder. My knees went weak. It felt like I had plunged into an icy lake. Simon was the first to break. He slammed his hand down and shouted, "Noah, what the hell is wrong with you? You're the one who ended it. Now Olivia and Jordan are practically engaged, and you come crawling back." Noah turned to him, eyes cold. "They're not married yet, are they? And what's it to you, huh?" Getting worked up like a eunuch worried about the emperor's affairs. "And let's be real, Olivia never loved him. You really want to force her into a miserable relationship for the rest of her life? She loves me." Simon's face twisted with fury. He turned to Olivia. "Say something, Olivia. We've all seen how Jordan's treated you over the years. You can't do this to him." I looked at her. She didn't speak. Slowly, she raised her head and met my eyes, but in her gaze, there was no love, only guilt. That one look was all it took. I understood what she meant. This long overdue reckoning had been looming over me for too long. Now the blade was finally coming down. I asked quietly, "So, you're choosing him, aren't you?" Whatever the answer was, I needed to hear it from her lips. I needed her to sever the last thread between us, so I could never turn back. Olivia was silent for a long time. Then finally, she said, "Jordan, I'm sorry. I really tried." I knew what she meant. She had tried to love me, but love isn't something you can force. Another one of our friends couldn't hold back anymore. He stood up and pointed at her, shouting, "Olivia, you're a damn bastard." We had been together for years. Even they couldn't stand to see me treated like this. But the woman I loved, she stabbed me in the heart without hesitation. I stood there in the living room, back straight, swallowing the burn in my eyes, clinging to my last shred of dignity. Noah looked at me and smiled, like a winner, cold, pitying. Moments later, I walked into the room and pulled out a suitcase. Ever since that night I saw Olivia scrolling through their old photos. I'd known this day would come. Every day since then, I'd been quietly packing my things, piece by piece, preparing to leave. Now, the time had come. I brushed past Olivia. She opened her mouth as if to say something, but no words came out. "I'll go first." I gave the others a small smile and closed the door gently behind me. And in that moment, I finally understood what that saying meant. The one time you truly leave, the door shuts with the softest sound. Chapter 06. Maybe it was because I had long been prepared for this day. It didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. Heartbreak doesn't feel like being pierced by an arrow. It's more like a thorn lodged deep in your heart. The pain isn't sharp enough to knock you down, but it lingers, quietly tormenting you in the dead of night. I often dreamed about our high school days, back when Noah hadn't appeared yet, when Olivia's world still revolved around me. I dreamed of the time she twisted her ankle and I carried her home. The sky was heavy with storm clouds, but the edges were tinged with a warm golden glow, softened with hints of pink. I walked under that light with her on my back, grumbling at her, "You're hopeless. Who even manages to trip during an 800-meter fitness test?" She lay against my back and pouted, "Mind your own business." I turned my head slightly. "Mind my own business? Then get off and walk by yourself." She pouted harder. "Jordan, don't you know you're supposed to be gentle with girls? You're so mean. Who'd ever want to marry you?" I snapped back. "What are you talking about? Tons of girls like me. I just got a love letter yesterday." Olivia raised an eyebrow. "Who? Must be blind." I fell silent. In my heart, I thought, Olivia is so annoying. I'm carrying her home and she's still teasing me. But then she laughed and wrapped her arms around my neck, her warm, soft body pressing against my back. "Fine, I'll be nice and marry you." Then, the sunset was gentle, but when it hit my face, it made me blush. I turned my head slightly. A strand of her long hair brushed my cheek, carrying the scent of rose and lychee shampoo. The smell made me dizzy. I had loved her for so long. Olivia's name felt like it had grown into my heart. Now, trying to cut her out could only mean bleeding. Olivia and Noah got back together that same day. The rest of our old friends left in anger. The ironic part, Olivia posted a photo of them as a couple on her social feed to make it official, then immediately blocked me. She didn't hesitate at all. So decisive, so clean. I couldn't even contact her to ask whether Monday's meeting was still on. Honestly, I was so furious it almost became funny. I wasn't sure if it was Olivia who deleted me, or if Noah used her phone while she slept. At this point, I didn't care. I stopped trying to reach her. I let my assistant handle everything. It didn't take long before people at the company started noticing something was off between us. The whispers began to spread. Olivia was a big company. I never realized how big it was, until I stopped commuting with Olivia. Some days, I didn't even see her once, until one evening, when I got into the elevator at the end of the day, and there she was, alone. I hesitated for half a second, then stepped in. She's the one who dumped me, not the other way around. I had nothing to be ashamed of. Olivia looked awkward. She stood there in silence for a moment. Just as I was about to step off, she spoke softly. "I didn't delete you. It was Noah. He took my phone while I was asleep." My steps halted. A subtle pain rippled through me. I had really treated that apartment like my home. Every bedsheet, every comforter, I had carefully picked them out. Olivia was particular, so I bought sets of silk sheets that cost thousands. I washed them by hand, laid them out gently to dry, never dared iron them. Even the air freshener was always her favorite, rose. Now, she'd let another man move in, and then came to stab me one more time. I turned around and, for the first time since the breakup, looked seriously at the woman I had loved for so many years. The girl in my memories had crumbled into dust, leaving behind a stranger I could barely recognize. I said quietly, "You don't need to explain. I don't care anymore." Then I turned and walked away. Olivia stood behind me for a long time, pale and unmoving, frozen in place. Chapter 07. When I arrived at the office the next day, I suddenly realized how unusually quiet it was. Everyone was looking at me with strange eyes, quickly diverting their gaze when mine swept over them. I thought, what's going on? By the time I entered the meeting room, I saw the senior staff members' faces all twisted with anger, and someone couldn't help but curse. What the hell is this? Damn it. I pulled out a chair and sat down. What's going on here? Simon spat, pointing angrily toward an office. What else? The guy with connections shows up, says we're not ambitious enough, that this whole setup is outdated. He wants to bring over the Americans' advanced experiences. His voice was dripping with sarcasm. When we were starting the business, he was nowhere to be seen. Now he has the nerve to come back and ask to be vice president. He even brought his own team, telling us to get lost. I still didn't understand what was happening when Noah walked in, his face stoic. Am I wrong? These last few years have been the fastest growing period for the internet industry. You guys haven't even listed the company yet. You've just been dabbling, and now you want to slow down the company's growth. That's when I realized Simon's anger was directed at Noah. Simon stood up and sarcastically remarked, "When we were starting, Noah, you were still studying in America. Why didn't you come then and preach this crap?" Noah sat down coolly at the head of the table. "So what? Whoever's capable should take the lead. If you guys can't take the company further, you should step aside and let someone capable do it." "Wait a second, Noah," I said, looking at him. "This company belongs to all of us, not just Olivia. What gives you the right to tell us how to run it?" "Oh, it's you again." He sneered. "Jordan, you really show up everywhere, but the least qualified to say this is you, right?" He crossed his arms, and when he looked at me, a cold, mocking smile flickered in his eyes. "Do you know how the name Olivia came about?" I stayed silent, and he continued, speaking slowly. "It's a combination of my name and Olivia's. I'm really curious, don't you feel uncomfortable working here every day?" His words were like a sharp knife, and I found myself unable to respond. Simon couldn't hold back anymore. "We're not Olivia. You better watch how you speak, Olivia. If you can't handle him, Simon, am not just someone who uses words." Olivia sighed. "Noah's just too blunt. He didn't mean it that way. Don't take it personally." Her words were light, but everyone could still sense the tension. I picked up a pen, spun it slowly between my fingers, and said softly, "Olivia, what do you mean?" Olivia glanced at me. "Yeah, Noah's words were a bit harsh, but he's not wrong either. The company's approach is outdated. I think we really need to keep up with the times." Her words were polite, but the meaning was clear to everyone. She agreed with Noah. At this, everyone couldn't sit still anymore. "Old Lynn, that's not fair. You and your husband are playing good cop, bad cop, letting each other say all the nice and bad things. This isn't how it was when you begged us to start this business with you. At the time, none of us could have gotten $1 million salary at big companies. We worked with you for just $1,800 a month. Sometimes you couldn't even pay us, and we had to put in our own money. And now, you've made it big, and you want to ditch us and go solo." Olivia frowned. "That's not what I mean, but the company does need fresh blood." Before she could finish, Noah interrupted her, coldly saying, "You guys can stay, but Jordan has to go. I can't tolerate you hanging around her all the time." He stared at me, taking step after step toward me. Simon couldn't hold back anymore. "Olivia, say something. Jordan's been by your side for so long. How can you let this happen?" Olivia grabbed Noah's arm, disapproving. "Jordan's a partner. There's nothing between us anymore. Don't cause trouble. No trouble." His voice ignited the tension, and Noah suddenly stood up, pointing at me. "I'm not some weakling. I can't stand the idea of my woman still thinking about another man. Olivia, give me an answer today. Are you choosing him, or are you choosing me?" Olivia froze. The room was thick with tension. I stood up, expressionless. No need for her to choose. I was done with this either-or game. I didn't want to be chosen anymore, and I knew she would never choose me. Today, Olivia can let go of me. Tomorrow, she'll let go of all of you too, I said, my gaze sweeping over everyone. "We're all smart people. I'm sure none of you would want to stake your careers on someone else's choices. Today, I'll be submitting my resignation. If anyone wants to leave with me, feel free to reach out." With that, I dropped the pen and strode out of the meeting room. Behind me, Simon hurriedly followed. "I'll go with you." The senior team exchanged looks. In the end, a few people stood up. Olivia was shocked and angry. "What do you mean by this?" The senior team exchanged glances before the leader spoke. Looking at Olivia, "Old Lynn, we're sorry, but with your boyfriend's attitude, we really can't keep working under you. If he can drive Jordan away today, tomorrow he'll probably turn on us. Let's part ways on good terms." They walked out of the meeting room. No matter how much Olivia called after them, they didn't look back. As I went to submit my resignation, Olivia looked at me with eyes full of mixed emotions, guilt, and something else I couldn't place. "Jordan, why do you have to do this?" she asked. I replied, "What do you mean, why?" Her brows furrowed. "Why did you say those things to them? Don't you know the company will be in big trouble without them? We've been together all these years. Don't we even have a bit of goodwill left?" I raised an eyebrow, surprised. I never realized how shameless you could be. Is it contagious? Or maybe you and Noah are just made for each other. I don't like dragging things out. When I love, it's intense. When I cut ties, it's clean and sharp, even if it hurts like hell inside. I won't show a hint of it, because showing weakness in front of someone who doesn't love you only makes it worse. Even if it costs me, I'll make sure it hurts her more. Olivia looked at me in disbelief. "You." I didn't want to say another word. I threw my resignation letter on her desk. "Remember, it wasn't you who fired me. It was me who fired you." Chapter 08. The old classmates who had worked with me all left one by one. Half of it was out of loyalty, and the other half was because everyone felt the chill of the wind. Noah's words pulled Olivia to his side. What would happen next? He had won big in this round. He didn't just win Olivia's affection, but also Olivia. But he wouldn't be laughing until the end. I gathered my team and started a new company. We were all familiar with the process by now. Funding, experience, and clients were all there. It didn't take long for us to get the company off the ground. The next time I saw Olivia was on New Year's Eve when I was heading home. Since our homes were right across from each other, when I saw her and Noah downstairs, I wasn't surprised. I simply ignored them and went upstairs. "Time flies," I thought sarcastically. "It's only been a few months since we broke up, and she's already rushing to bring Noah home to meet her parents." Lynn's mother was opening the door. As soon as she saw me, she instinctively smiled. "Jordan's home. Look at you. You've been eating well, haven't you? You've lost weight." Just as I was about to respond, I saw Lynn's mother's smile vanish when she noticed Noah behind me. Her face turned cold as she looked at him. Noah greeted her with a smile. "Hello, Auntie." Lynn's mother didn't say anything. It was as if she hadn't heard him, and she turned around to go inside. Noah's expression stiffened. I tried my best not to think about Olivia and Noah, but before dinner even started, the noise from the neighbors next door exploded. There were cries, shouting, and things being thrown around. It scared my mother, and she rushed to knock on their door. "Lily, what's going on? Open the door." My mother had been furious about Olivia dumping me, and for a while, she refused to even speak to Lynn's mother. Eventually, after Lynn's mother apologized several times, they patched things up. Lynn's mother opened the door, her face wet with tears and brimming with suppressed anger. She shouted at Olivia, "Take that guy and get out of my house. You've ruined everything for this new year." Noah wasn't backing down. "I addressed you as auntie out of respect, but what kind of family still lives together with their daughter? What's going on here?" Olivia's mother was so angry her face turned pale. Her lips trembled as she pointed at Noah. Unable to say a word, Olivia's face twisted with anger, and for the first time, she snapped at Noah. "Shut up. My mom just moved to the same neighborhood as me. She's not living with me. Why do you have to speak so nastily?" Noah's voice grew louder. "You think I can't tell your mom doesn't like me? Let me tell you, kids overseas become independent early on. They don't live with their parents. Your mom is just an old-fashioned relic, trying to make things difficult for us. That's enough." Olivia exploded with rage. "Always talking about overseas. 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 If you don't want to come back, then leave." Noah stared at her, his eyes wide in disbelief. "You want me to leave?" He started hysterically pulling at Olivia. I stood by, stunned. Although Noah had always had a dominant presence in my mind, now he seemed like a maniac. But as I thought more about it, it made sense. He hadn't dated anyone while he was abroad. While Olivia and I had been together back here in China, he probably felt that Olivia owed him, and Olivia had been more tolerant toward him because of this. The two of them, with their back and forth, had reached a point where Noah couldn't tolerate any sign of disobedience from Olivia. Olivia was helplessly being pulled by him. "Are you crazy?" "I am crazy," Noah hissed, his eyes bloodshot. "You've been giving me the cold shoulder these past few days. At home, you always ignore me. You won't even let me touch you at night. You think I don't know what you're thinking? You're still hung up on that loser." I knew the loser he was referring to was me. I stood there expressionless. The situation was escalating quickly, and Lynn's mother rushed to intervene. But Noah, in a blind rage, shoved her aside. She screamed as she fell heavily to the ground, her head hitting the coffee table. She didn't even have time to speak before she passed out. I saw the blood spreading slowly from her head, pooling on the floor. At that moment, everything stopped. The chaotic scene froze in time, with only my mother's scream echoing in the air. "Call an ambulance, quick." Chapter 09. Lynn's mother was sent to the hospital, and the doctors found a large wound on her head that required stitches, along with mild signs of a concussion. She had always been in poor health, and now, she was bedridden. While paying the hospital bill, my mother whispered to me that Olivia's mother and Noah had never gotten along. She had never liked Noah, and when Olivia broke up with him and started seeing me, she was overjoyed. Who would have thought he came back? Noah wasn't a fool. After a few cold shoulders, he finally got the message. He wasn't the kind of person to bend over backward for others. So this situation wasn't surprising. At Lynn's mother's bedside, Olivia's eyes were bloodshot, her grip tight on Lynn's pale hand. Looking exhausted, I walked over quietly and asked in a low voice, "How is Auntie?" Olivia's voice was hoarse. "She just took some medicine and fell asleep." I nodded without saying a word. The room fell into silence. Just as I was about to leave, Olivia called out to me. It was the first time I heard regret in her voice. "Jordan, do you think I've made a mistake?" After a long pause, I whispered, "You choose your own path, right or wrong, you have to live with it." Back at the company, I suddenly noticed that the order volume had multiplied several times, and we were so busy we couldn't keep up. "What's going on here?" I walked over to Simon, who was rubbing his red eyes. "Did we mess up an order?" Simon looked up dully. "It seems like something's wrong with Olivia. A lot of big clients want to cancel their orders. There are only a few companies in the city, and now they're all coming to us. Problem? What kind of problem?" Noah brought a whole team to Olivia, but they're all nerds, with theories up the wazoo. But when it came down to actual work, they froze up. They think domestic clients are unsophisticated, country bumpkins with bad taste. "You won't believe what happened when they went to play golf with the clients." Noah mocked them, saying they didn't even know how to play golf, calling them total amateurs. I was stunned. "Is he out of his mind?" Simon shrugged. "He seemed pretty sharp back in school. Maybe the sweet air in America messed with his brain. He does have some skills, his translations are decent. But when it comes to company operations, it's a disaster." Translation: the company has plenty of people for that. What do we need him for? I don't think Olivia can last much longer if this keeps up. That night, lying in bed, I was scrolling through my phone when I suddenly noticed that my most recent Weibo post had a new visitor. The profile picture was so familiar that I knew immediately without even clicking, it was Olivia. Looking back at my previous posts, I saw traces of her. A strange feeling stirred inside me. When we were together, she never paid attention to my Weibo, but I knew she would secretly check Noah's. Now that we were apart, she was coming back to check mine. It seemed like human nature really was a bit pathetic. Is it true that the things we can't have are always the best? I didn't know what she meant by this, but it irritated me. I decided to block that Weibo account too. Simon's prediction was spot on. By February, before spring had even started, Olivia's call came in. She had blocked me for a long time, and this was the first time she had actively called me. Her voice was almost drained, as though all energy had been sucked out of her. It was tired and weary. "Jordan." After a long silence, she almost begged, "Please come back." "Okay." I tightened my grip on the phone unconsciously. "What do you mean by that? Are you asking me to come back and fix things for you?" "I broke up with Noah," she said, completely unrelated to what I had asked, but I understood what she was really saying. She was asking me to get back together with her. Honestly, when we broke up, I had imagined this moment, when she would come begging for reconciliation. At that time, I was so angry, thinking that when it happened, I'd berate her, humiliate her, and make her regret everything. But now, in this moment, I found myself simply exhausted. I didn't want to say anything. I quietly hung up the phone and blocked the number. The good and the bad, everything was over. The relationship was dead, and how could it possibly come back to life? A broken mirror could never be repaired. Spilled water can't be retrieved. Chapter 10. Another year. The scorching summer of July. Along with more orders came an even more explosive piece of news. Noah couldn't accept breaking up with Olivia. Perhaps the pressure from the company's troubles and the constant back and forth between them had taken a toll on his nerves. He called Olivia out under the pretense of wanting to talk, then drove her straight off a cliff. Luckily, they were both somewhat lucky. Noah broke a few ribs, but Olivia was less fortunate. She suffered severe leg injuries and had to have her leg amputated. When Lynn's mother heard this news outside the hospital, she fainted on the spot. When she woke up, her eyes were red, and she wanted to find Noah and tear him apart. Luckily, the doctors stopped her. I went to the hospital to visit Olivia. For someone so proud and strong, she couldn't bear such a heavy blow. She refused to eat or drink, and within just a few days, she had withered away, looking frail and skeletal. I almost didn't recognize her. When I saw Noah again, the love in Olivia's eyes had completely vanished, replaced with an intense hatred. She looked at him like she could burn him with her gaze. Noah laughed maniacally. "Olivia, this is the price you pay for leaving me. You thought you could leave me and run to that loser. Too bad. Now you're a cripple. Let's see if he'll even want you." His voice was filled with bitterness, hoarse with resentment. Olivia was so enraged she grabbed him, tearing at him with all her might. Several people almost couldn't stop her. Noah received a few hard slaps to the face, his cheeks turning bright red and swollen. He glared at Olivia, as if he wished he could kill her. This couple, always breaking up and getting back together, had finally reached the most ugly point. The day I left the hospital, Olivia called out to me. The sunlight outside the window shone on this once proud and beautiful woman. Her pale face had no color, and she shrank back, her eyes flashing with a hint of self-doubt. I turned to look at her. "Is something wrong?" Her lips moved as if she wanted to say something, but in the end, She couldn't say it. It was just like me back then, having already known the answer. There was no need to ask and humiliate myself further. Olivia just stared at me for a long time. I don't know if it was the sunlight blinding her or something else, but a tear fell from her eye. At this moment, what she truly felt, only she knew. I turned my back, stepping into the sunlight. Chapter 11. Another new year. And Olivia finally couldn't hold on any longer. Olivia had been completely crushed. She couldn't keep the company running anymore. We successfully acquired Olivia, and the company grew even larger than before. At the annual party, a few old classmates raised their glasses, murmuring, "A lot's happened this past year. It feels like a dream." "Yeah," another person sighed. "Who would have thought it would end up like this?" Hey, what's with the sighing during good times?" Simon shouted. "Is the year-end bonus not enough? Getting sentimental now?" At the mention of the year-end bonus, everyone's faces lit up with smiles. I raised my glass, smiling. "Thank you all for your hard work this past year. Let's keep pushing forward and make sure our company," Simon cut me off, "grows bigger and stronger." Cheers. The glasses clinked together, the sound crisp, reflecting the swirling amber liquid. I tilted my head back and downed the drink in one go, the spicy warmth of the alcohol burning away all the frustration I'd been holding inside for so long. The ones who left me. The past is gone. What's done is done, and the future has only just begun.